Hi friends, LD Vegan. My gentle juice fasting day is today. That means I drink only and maybe a nice juice. Like today I make a new juice, a new recipe, and that is the fun part of the fasting as a chef for me, because I feel creative and I feel I want it more, make it more exciting, and so I create a new juice recipe. Because I only drink on the fasting day. That's once a week, about once a week, all the time. And if it's fun, if I have something to experience for the senses, because they are very active on a fasting day, then it's easier. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. And especially the juice recipes, I'm writing a book right now with food categories, and juices are the first. And because I think the juices are a nice introduction to cooking, because on a fasting day, when you drink the juices on a usual day, on a regular day, juices to me are don't make so much sense, because a healthy food is not a juice. A juice is not whole food, you know. You take away the fiber from the produce, from the vegetables and the fruit and the nuts. Take the fiber away. That what needs to be digested, and that's what we need on a normal day of eating to have the healthy food. It has to be digested. The digestion, the intestines have the most part of our immune system, so that needs to be active and healthy. But on a fasting day, it's a different story. We turn around the metabolism. We get our energy in a different way, not by burning sugar. The cells, they burn sugar, simple sugars, and glucose. And on a fasting day, they burn ketones. It's a different molecule. Ketone is a very simple molecule, very efficient to burn, and the body does that on an emergency mode. When it has too little energy, it begins to burn ketones. It's more effective. It's better, so to say. Yeah. But on a normal day, we burn glucose, and that's not that effective. You know, a lot of energy is needed for digestion, yeah, to process the food, to digest it. 60% of the energy is used for digestion. So on that day, we are not working very effectively. Yeah. But on a fasting day, cleansing mode, special mode, yeah, ketosis it's called. It's a complicated science, but don't go into that a lot. But you know, on a fasting day, when I have this special mode, I'm more aware. My awareness expands. I don't do what I usually do. I make a pause. And that's why I can better taste the ingredients. I can taste, for example, what a cucumber tastes like and what it does to my system, and how they play together with the other ingredients. Today I make a cucumber juice. That's an easy to start juice, because cucumbers here, yeah, they are 98% or so, or even more, water. Yeah, so very easy to juice. The thing is, if you juice a cucumber, it's bitter, and you want to have an apple to it. Yeah, here I juice a little more apple here, because I have other greens. These are 3 apples, small apples. Cucumber apple juice is a classic, and you can add a lemon, for example, and you have a perfectly delicious juice. You can also add a little bit of celery stalks to the cucumber juice. Then you have a perfect cucumber juice. Very nice. Celery, yeah, stalk celery, not too much. It's a very strong flavor, but it's super healthy green. The greens are the healthiest foods we have. So green juice today with the cucumber, celery, that is the base of today's juice. And every week I make a new juice recipe. So the cucumber juice I already know. So I add other ingredients to find something new. Today I have 2 very powerful cleansing herbs to embark on the cleansing, yeah, a little bit more. I have a cilantro, a whole bunch of cilantro, you see, and half bunch of parsley. Yeah. So if you take more or less parsley or cilantro, that's up to you. Today I do this. The other day I used more cilantro, parsley. Today I used more cilantro. So every time I try something new a little bit. So I have 4 greens today: the cucumber, cilantro, parsley, and celery stalks. But make sure not to do, if you do that juice, don't do too many celery stalks, because 2 celery stalks for a liter juice is really enough. More can turn the juice into not so delicious. Yeah, don't do that. I would not recommend it. Yeah, depends on you, of course. But you see, this here is a very dark celery stalks. These are dark leaves here. Sometimes in the health food shop where I get my celery, they are very light. When you have the very light celery stalks, you can take a little bit more, I would say. But when they are dark, they're powerful, they taste very intense. And I would take only 2, not more. I tried more, it didn't work. So 2 stalks is enough, and a whole bunch of cilantro and a bunch of parsley. They are very powerful cleansers, and that's the base of my juice. Now I have to make it delicious because the green vegetables, they often taste a lot of strong flavor. Very healthy, but I have to put something to balance the bitter flavor. Yeah? And that is fruit. Yeah? I showed you the lemon before. I have a lemon here. That is a nice fruit, but it's sour, not sweet. I need sweet fruit. So I take apple, I showed you already, and a pear. And especially here, the apple is to make the cilantro delicious, whereas the pear, a little bit less than apple you might see, is to make the parsley delicious. Both are classics in my kitchen. I have a classical cilantro apple juice, it's very delicious. And I have a classic pear parsley juice, also very delicious. So here I take apples and pears to balance not only the cucumbers, but also cilantro and parsley. So it makes all these greens and the fruit fit together. And I have also oranges here, 2 or 3 oranges, to give more sweetness to it. Oranges are very sweet and have a little bit sour fruit also. And I add the orange today to give more sweetness to it and to have this little trinity together: orange, apple, and pear. Yeah, you see, there's a lot going on in the recipe. I have to think about the greens I want to add, what they do to my body. The cucumbers, they are to hydrate me, to give me water. It's a lot of water they give me, very healthy water. And the cilantro and the parsley, they're cleansing the body from heavy metals. And the celery also does something. They have potassium. It's also very healthy, brings the sugar down in the blood. So all these greens have jobs and flavors, and they play together with the fruit. So another thing that's going on when I combine orange, apple, and pear, these 3 very common and available fruit in our culture, in Germany here, and I guess in many places on the planet you easily get orange, apple, and pears, yeah. But to make them in a juice together is very special, and it's very delicious. I was surprised. I tried it first. I never bought that juice somewhere. I never thought saw it anywhere advertised. So whoever saw apple, pear, and orange juice in one? But if you try that, you will be surprised. It's so delicious, and it's a little bit creamy. It's a wonderful flavor, full round flavor. That's why I also always like to make a juice where these 3 are together: apple, orange, pear. Try that. You can do it by themselves. Apple, orange, pear juice is delicious by itself. So these things are going on here, and I add a little bit of ginger and a little bit of the lemon peel. Here, that's 4 inches or so of ginger root and a little bit of the lemon peel. I don't know yet how much I can use, because the lemon peel is a very hard, intense flavor. It makes the lemony flavor, whereas the lemon flesh and the juice is more the sour flavor here. This is the flesh of the lemon. That's more sour. And the peel, that's more lemony. That's the main nutrients from the lemon that makes it so healthy. That's in the peel, in the yellow color. But when you take too much of it, the whole juice can taste bitter and very not pleasant again. Similar with the celery stalks. If you take too much of it, too dark, the whole juice doesn't taste anymore. So that I want to avoid, to keep it, to make this fasting day a delight and every single step. So let's see what happens when I make that juice now. I'll come back in a moment after juicing and I'll taste it in front of you and show you what it tastes like to me. That's 1.5 liter juice. The color is green, the broken green. Beautiful color, I would say. And it is a little bit creamy. The cucumber juice by itself would be very runny. It's almost only water. But as I have other ingredients here also, it turns a little bit creamier. So that's the texture and the color. So now, let's see what it tastes like. And I did not put all the peel in, I just maybe the half or 2/3 of the orange peel, of a lemon peel of one lemon. So let's see. Ah, yeah. The clear, strong, green flavor. That's here very clear. I have a very green complex here. Cucumbers, celery, parsley and cilantro. That's very good. This is a fresh, cleansing flavor, green. And that is balanced and a little bit bitter. Balanced by a nice combination of fruit, the main common fruit here, orange, apple, pear, to balance the bitter with the sweet and sour. It's wonderful, and I can taste that balance. Yeah, that is the main thing. If I compose a juice, a recipe, I make a new recipe, and I have a juice, I take vegetables and fruit to balance the sweet and the bitter. That's a very basic understanding. There are veggies that are not so bitter, others are more bitter. Then you take different kinds of fruit, or more or less, and so these kind of things are small things. But the big here, the balance in the greens, on the bitter greens, and the sweet and sour fruit, that's a nice thing here. And if you want to have it more green or more fruity, that's totally up to you. I can recommend usually 1 piece of green and 2 pieces of fruit, usually I would recommend. Yeah, I mean that's a very, very gross or coarse understanding. You know, the idea is to balance it, to give it 1-to-1 or 2-to-1, kind of that. If you have too many greens, I wouldn't like it. And it is so important that a juice to me is delicious. But it becomes very individual, very subjective. You know, some people like it really bitter. Others say, no, I want it more fruity. That's up to you. I try to make it balanced. I don't want to have it too bitter. Don't give it too much lemon peel, in my flavor. Others like a whole lemon. So that's a bit up to you. You have to find out. I would begin with a little bit, because once you have too much, you can't change it anymore. Then you ruin the juice, especially with the lemon peel or the celery stalks. So I would recommend to begin slow and to begin with an easy juice, just an apple cucumber juice with a little bit of lemon maybe, or ginger, and there you go. And then you find a delicious juice for you, ratio, and then you begin to you add a parsley maybe, or a cilantro, and so on, you know. That's how I would do it. So this juice is delicious, I have to say, but you know, in the first moment when I have my first little taste experience, that I can only say so much right now. That's nice, there's a balance is there, it's not too bitter, and it's nice. But you know, the whole thing you only taste if you drink it all. And that takes some time, because these juices are powerful. They're full of energy, also sugar from the fruit is there. It goes direct into the bloodstream. There is no digestion. That's special on a fasting day. You're very effective. no digestion. It goes directly in. It's a boost of energy. So I drink it slowly because if it goes in too fast, I have sugar spikes in the blood and that can make me dizzy or other things that's not so nice. So drink that with moderation and slowly. That's what I would recommend. So it takes some time and then I enjoy the juice. I taste it and it begins to taste in a different way when you drink more of it. Yeah, you taste more of the ingredients. You find, oh, now I feel there is too much of this and that, or it could be a little bit more of that. That comes only when I drink the juice, the whole juice. It can even vary from day to day, how you feel about it. That's something. So when I make a new recipe every single day, it's a little bit challenging because I know it's a very instantaneous feeling to have a flavor. So I need a little bit of experience. So I made these juices in slightly modification several times already. This is now the first time I make this precise juice, but I made the same juice without the celery already. So I know what it will taste like. Yeah, after a while I have more and more experience. I know how to make the juices, but always have to begin slow and with the easy. And so when I drink that now, I'll enjoy it. I have the full experience after the juice is in my body, and then I know if it's good. And when I do it next week, I know it even better. But every week I make a new one, and that's how I learned cooking. Yeah? I mean, I'm a raw food fan, but not so much because raw food would be the healthiest food. That cannot be proven by science so far. Some people claim, well, raw food is the healthiest food, but not necessarily. You have some foods that are healthier when you cook them because you get more nutrients from it. Tomatoes, for example. There are lots of studies about that. It could never be proven so far. I read a lot about it, also summaries and so from good scientists, raw food scientists, and they could never prove it. They admit it. So they also eat a little bit of cooked food sometimes. And for me, the main reason to go raw food is because it's easy. It's a very easy approach to cooking. It takes no time. Also to wash now the dishes afterwards, so easy when you cook it with oil, example, or heat. It takes more time, and then you have to wash it. The food is very much transformed with the heat and the cooking, the long time of cooking. This transformation makes it very complicated. So to make a good recipe with cooked food with heat is a lot more challenging to me than just making a raw food. To press a juice or to blend something or to sell it together. That's much easier. That's why I make the raw food, because on day to day I want to have it easy, And fasting to me is not only to cleanse the body, it's also to cleanse the mind. And that means I change a habit. The diet is a habit that should be always pretty much constant. Habit, that's what we live on. Thrive. We have habits we don't need to think about. We do it always the same way. That's what we thrive on. That's our culture. Our culture is based on these habits. We all do it together in the same way as a society, and that's how we succeed. And when something changes, that's a lot of energy is needed to change that, to make it change. So now we are going to transformation in this world to veganism. So first we transform away from the fossil fuels, very heavy, the fossil fuels. We get away from it now. It's about time, right? It takes a lot of energy to do that. We have to change a lot of habits. And the same way, we have to go away from eating animals. It's another very heavy thing to do that, and it takes a lot of energy for the society as a whole to change that. And fasting to me is an easy way to change a habit, And a fasting day is like rebooting the system. I start from zero. Like in a similar way, I go to bed at night and I sleep, I pause, I go away. In the morning I come back. Like start anew. say that the fasting day is also something like a starting new, all over, starting over, to reboot the system, like the computer. You turn it off when something goes wrong, you turn it on again, and maybe the mistake is over, something like that. So fasting is not only cleansing the body from toxins, also the mind to get to install new habits. A transition to veganism, for example, would be a wonderful thing. A fasting day is a vegan, yeah. In a fasting day, usually you don't eat anything from the animals because you don't eat. Yeah, it's easier. It's easier. So enough today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you like my video, subscribe MD Vegan on YouTube. Maybe you feel inspired, fast yourself, or make some of the recipes, I don't know, invent your own, make a transition, tell your friends about veganism, and yeah, would be happy to, if you like my video, enjoy it, and subscribe MD Vegan, have another recipe every single day. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. And you can also find my Facebook page, Tree Yoga Moon Fasting. I post my juice recipes. I share them also on that Facebook page, Tree Yoga Moon Fasting. Tree Yoga is the yoga style where Gentle Juicefasting comes from. It's a non-violent yoga style. It's a non-violent lifestyle. We have, many of us are vegans, and many of us do the fasting here, and Tree Yoga, the flow yoga, the yoga where you learn how to flow, to live non-violently, with compassion. Yeah, it's a great thing. You can go there also and find all the juice recipes and a fasting calendar for the best fasting days and so on. I hope to see you soon.